Hello guys and welcome to episode 81 of Radio Gorepress. I am Rosie and with me as ever is Sarah.
Hello.
And Phil.
Hello.
And we have got a corker of a show in store for you.
We think so.
Well, we hope so anyway. It is. Fuck it. Have some confidence in yourself.
It's all completely unscripted and unrehearsed, so who knows?
Believe in yourselves. But before we go any further, I just want to say, if you're a first-time listener, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. We love you and we're happy to have you in the Gore-fam. Before we start, don't forget to check out the site at www.radiogorepress.com. The absolute best way to help us out, if you so want to, is to share us with friends or rate and review us on your favourite podcast platform. That would mean so much to us. And we will include all the relevant links in the blurb.
Yes.
So,
without further ado,
so we thought that we would mix it up a bit this week. We've been covering some pretty heavy stuff, Women in Horror Month.
Yep.
And covering some very taboo topics, maybe controversial,
I would say, yeah.
Controversial topics,
Yeah.
and we've loved it. We've got some really good conversation out of it, and actually we've had some really good engagement with you guys as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
But we thought that we would lighten the load a bit this week, and we have been watching Adam Green's Digging Up The Marrow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Which it will.
Ew.
Which will come as no surprise. I haven't seen it before. It is a first time watch for me. It is a something time watch for you, Sarah.
I want to say fourth.
You
seem outraged. Is that like unheard of?
You've watched a film 4 times.
I've watched loads of films 4 times.
I haven't.
It would blow your mind.
I haven't done that since I was like a child. I think The Little Mermaid is the film I've watched more than anything else.
More than Blade Runner?
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen The Little Mermaid literally about 50 times.
That shocks me.
I wore through the VHS.
The Little Mermaid's really weird.
It's really good.
Can you imagine
being
if she was
being
like
half fish?
half
No.
fish, and then being like, I would like sexy time with that man that's walking on land over there. It's so weird.
I always felt like it was a bit of a sort of allegory for feminism, you know? Like she wanted to
wear trousers.
Be where the people are.
She wanted to have fucking legs.
I want to be where the people aren't.
See them dancing.
That's my ideal.
What's a flame and why does it? What's the word? So
that right there is why people keep tuning in.
Is it
Impromptu renditions of Disney songs.
Yeah. Oh God, is that copyright issue?
I don't think
anyone could work out that was a Disney song from what I was saying.
Until I mentioned it. What have I done?
I don't think saying the word Disney can get us screwed over, can
If
it?
you say Disney 3 times, do their legal department show up and produce a cease and desist?
Probably.
Let's not risk it.
Yes. Phil, how many times have you seen this film?
I was trying to work this out. I think it's a third view for me. I think.
Did I make you watch it
Yes.
the first time? Okay.
Have you both watched this film 3 times without me and just had a lovely time and not told me?
Potentially.
Oh, so rude. But
Because you're too busy off watching The Little Mermaid again.
I haven't watched The Little Mermaid since I didn't have a VHS player anymore, actually.
You've, like, half of our listeners probably own VHS players.
I know.
So you're talking to the wrong audience.
I am willing to bet that the vast proportion of them do not have both a VHS player and The Little Mermaid on
Do you know
VHS.
what? I would wager that you would be mightily surprised by the sheer amount of crossover between horror fans and Disney fans. It's insane.
VHS collector horror? Maybe.
Equally, horror fans and fans of musicals.
Really?
Weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do they all love Repo the Genetic Opera?
Yes. Which, incidentally, is terrible.
Oh, it's absolute bobbins.
I didn't.
But
I turned it off.
Oh, God, I think I fast-forwarded through some of it.
I kind of love it a little bit.
Why?
It's so bad.
Even Joan Jett couldn't save it.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's the end of my thoughts. Yes, it's really bad.
But that is a film I have seen more than once.
Why? And yet you've never seen Digging Up the Marrow before
No,
today.
isn't that absolutely bizarre?
Your attentions are just where they oughtn't not to be.
Wait,
what?
Or not to be?
Yeah.
Or not?
I went a bit Dickensian, and the lights are flashing now. Honestly, I feel like this might be the start of the apocalypse.
I'm really
Coronavirus is everywhere.
So
the
everywhere.
So the media
We're
would have
outside
us
your door.
believe
Knocking on the window.
where we have like
no, it's a virus, Phil. Don't be ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
it's just languishing
Now I
on the
feel-
hard
now I feel
surfaces.
It is, and that is why I've been carrying flash wipes around in a little Ziploc bag in my handbag.
I mean, I've been washing my hands a lot.
I had to go shopping today, and you better believe I took an anti-bac wipe to the trolley.
I had to use a public bathroom at Sainsbury's, and I opened the door with my coat.
Phil, what have you been doing?
Just carrying on like normal, really.
And this is why Phil is always low-level ill.
Right?
I've embraced it. It's fine.
But the thing is, you're probably a carrier and don't know it, and you'll never have it.
Realistically, as with many other things, Phil's probably patient zero, and
It
just
started
nobody's
with- yeah.
noticed.
Did you go to China?
I was about to
Tell
say,
anyone?
just travelled like without knowing.
that
Sleptwalked or
time you
something.
went to Wuhan the other week.
The other week, when you went for that day trip.
I've heard it's a very short flight.
Doesn't your dad work in China sometimes?
Phil!
Maybe. No, not really. Anyway, Digging Up the Marrow.
Yes,
Bit too eager to sweep that one under the rug.
maybe. Don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. Digging Up the Marrow, definitely a film. I'm going to read the back of the DVD. What if the ghastly images and abominations haunting our collective nightmares actually exist? Filmmaker Adam Green receives a package in his fan mail from a mysterious man named William Decker. Ray Wise. I love him.
Ray Wise is fantastic.
I love him. And also Robocop. Claiming that he can prove that monsters do indeed exist, insisting these grotesque creatures are forgotten, hideously deformed humanoids inhabiting a vast underground metropolis of the damned. Determined to expose the truth, Green and his crew embark on a bone-chilling odyssey. As the lines between fantasy and reality are increasingly blurred, they are taken on a mysterious, fantastical and terrifying journey into the shadows and deep down under the ground below our very feet when they dare to go digging up the marrow.
I don't remember Robocop being in this film.
I didn't see Peter Weller either.
On the back of the DVD, it says Ray Wise, also Twin Peaks, X-Men First Class and Robocop.
Yeah, but he wasn't Robocop. That I remember.
But it says that Robocop's in the film right there. It says Robocop.
Yeah. I'm not
And also the
arguing.
entirety of Twin Peaks.
I'm not arguing.
They were all in it.
Yeah.
They were just
That
in the
makes-
marrows. You just couldn't see them.
Yeah.
A lot of it was very dark. We don't know.
Who else? Who knows what other cast he's got hidden down there?
X-Men First Class, all of them
Okay.
as well.
All of them.
Jean-Luc Picard was in this.
Don't. I've got that song stuck in my head now.
Jean-Luc Picard.
What?
Of the USS Enterprise.
What?
How do you... What?
I fucking love Star Trek and I do... What is this song?
How?
Explain this to me right now.
I mean, that was kind of it.
Yeah. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Consider yourself explained.
Nothing
a real thing.
brings me more joy than you singing little Trek tunes. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Oh, that's going to be in my head now.
Exactly.
God damn it.
It's such an
Why did you
earworm.
tell me when we were recording?
I mean, that... I think the only thing that beats it for more annoying earworm is...
I know
we're
the
taking
song
the
that'll get
Hobbits-
on your nerves.
We're taking the Hobbits
Oh,
to
really?
Isengard.
Does that wind you up?
Yeah.
Why are you like this? Honestly, right, moving swiftly on. So, the film kind of starts... The film is a documentary. It starts
Would you call it a
with-
documentary or a mockumentary?
I would call it a mockumentary, although I feel like people would dispute that. It's, yeah, a documentary of sorts, which starts with some, what I imagine are genuine thoughts about monsters
Well,
from various members of the horror community?
yes. So the trivia goes that everyone that was interviewed that was not Adam Green, Will Barrett, or Ray Wise
Yeah.
did not know what the project was ultimately.
Not even
They didn't
Pardee. Because...
No, he knew. Yes.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Apparently, him, Alex Pardee and Adam Green have become really close friends, and like, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I have some more trivia, but yeah, apparently, apart from like the really core group of people involved, the interviewees didn't know what the project was. They didn't ultimately know what they were being interviewed for.
Okay. Which was an interesting. Okay. So they were literally just asked, like, do you believe in monsters?
Yeah,
that
basically.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And I guess they just got the standard waivers, and then... Because, I mean, the entire project was in production for about 5 years.
5 years?
It took 5 years to complete. Because I get the impression that Adam Green sort of did it on the back of other projects.
Like Hollister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the part where they go to... Obviously, skipping ahead a little bit, and now is probably a really good time to mention that we will be spoilering this film, as we do
such
with every
heavy
film.
spoilers. Yeah, we will rip it to pieces.
Yeah, this is your chance to back out now if you haven't seen the film.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, the scene where they go to Boston to check whether or not Decker is
Who he says he is.
who he says he is. Apparently, that was the first thing that they filmed. And that was sort of tacked onto like a convention appearance.
Oh, because they just happened to be in Boston, kind of thing.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think it was that
That's
sort of a project where they filmed what they could when they could, and it just took a while to tie it all together.
I feel like, and I said this to you earlier, I feel like Adam Green would be so much fun to spend time with
Oh, hell yeah.
for approximately half an hour.
Yeah.
And after
can
that,
see
I
what
would
you're
just
saying.
get really, really tired.
I think there's something about Adam Green. Like, my first impression is this guy thinks a lot of himself. And then the more you listen to him, and the more you find out about him, actually...
It's just like pure passion, isn't it?
It comes, and the fact that he makes fun of himself a lot, even in the film,
Yeah.
and actually humbles
own work.
himself, and his own work, and he humbles himself regularly. And actually, I think
Yeah, he has like other directors call him Grasshopper
Yeah.
and stuff. It's adorable.
I love it.
And he is so just adorable as well.
he's very short.
Oh,
I stood next to him at FrightFest
how
at the bar.
short is he?
He's shorter than me.
I mean, that doesn't denote very short though.
I'm like 5'8", I would say like 5'5", 5'6".
He's my height.
Yeah.
He's Rosie height.
He's lovely.
Oh, bless him.
He's a lovely, lovely man.
Oh, I want to give him a cuddle. Yeah, you can clearly see that like he has a massive passion for horror, which was obvious anyway from the films that he's produced, but
And the company he keeps, and like
Yeah,
their Ariescope Halloween shorts, they've been going for 21 years
oh
now.
my god, yeah, which are amazing. Every
Yeah.
single year I get excited about those now.
I'll be honest, I didn't like last year's.
Which one was last year's? Was that the car journey?
No, that was a while ago. It was called Pumpkin Dick. And it was basically just 3 kids sort of telling ghost stories, and there was like the scare at the end. It was one of my least favourites, if I'm honest,
that's
of the
a
Halloween
shame.
shorts. But I wonder if it's because
Was it Adam Green
he's...
that did like the slap chop one?
Jack Chop. I love that. And I think, oh shit, the guy in it was, he directed Grace.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've forgotten his name. He's
It's
a director
useless
as well.
looking at me for a name.
I love that. That's easily my favourite one. But yeah, the last 2019's Halloween short, I didn't care for that much. It felt a little bit like perhaps he had other projects going on at the time, and it had been maybe thrown together a bit more
Okay.
I think you
quickly.
phoned it in a bit.
No, I don't want to use those terms because that sounds cruel.
It
He wasn't bad.
He was otherwise preoccupied.
Maybe. It was by no means bad, but I have come to expect more. It felt like it kind of reused ideas compared to the ones he's done in the past.
That's a shame. We have high hopes for 2020.
The bulk of them are just so fun, though. It is like, it's become like...
a little tradition.
Yeah, like a Halloween, you know, you go pumpkin picking, we dress up, and there's a fucking Ariescope Halloween show to watch.
and we drink some wine.
Yeah,
It's good times all around.
Yeah.
What, Phil, is your kind of overview of Adam Green? Like, how do you feel about Adam Green in general? Do you like Adam Green?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know him
I kept on
personally.
asking the question and like
you
there was
keep
no
saying-
answer coming out.
If you keep saying his name, he might appear in a mirror.
Adam Green, Adam Green, Adam Green.
So I've seen Hatchet. Want to see Frozen? Haven't seen that yet.
Frozen's
Heard good
really
things.
good.
Yeah.
Wait,
Not that one. Let it go.
you did say that there was a horror Disney crossover.
That's not it. That's not why they
The
converge.
crossover is Adam Green directing Frozen.
Can you imagine?
That would be one fucked up movie.
I guarantee somebody's made a parody.
Yeah,
already.
of course. And if they haven't, Gorepress Productions.
Hell yeah.
But no, I've really liked, you know, a lot of the stuff he's done. As you say, seems to have a very kind of clear passion for the genre, and is kind of knowing in what he produces.
Yeah.
Like, it's very clear that he kind of understands the craft and wants to drop these references in, and like, you know, has a bit
Well, there's always,
has
like-
fun with the audience in the film. You know,
There's always little
Yeah.
Easter eggs and like playing on tropes and
Yeah. Like, I think with some people who aren't perhaps as endearing, it can come across as a bit name-droppy. But when he does it, it's like, oh no, it's really nice. It's just him and his mates. It's cool.
but it's
Do you know what I mean, though?
yeah, I do. It's kind of like making a conversational horror film, if you get what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
his films seem like this, especially Digging Up The Marrow, seems like a bunch of people who get along so well, just having a fucking laugh and making
think-
an awesome film.
Do you think that would be more fun than working with strangers?
I think
Or do you
it
think
could
it
go
would be
either way.
I was going to, like, because I feel like filmmaking, while fun, must be so stressful when you've got,
Yeah.
like, time constraints, daylight constraints.
Yeah, you're literally
Budgetary
pulling like
constraints.
20+ hour days regularly.
Yeah. I
On a
feel
film
like
schedule.
that would have me with a pretty short fuse.
I feel like if I'm awake for longer than 15 hours of a day, I
was gonna
start
say, like,
getting
15
snappy. If I don't get my nap,
If I don't have snacks every hour on the hour.
I would definitely be in my trailer. Yeah, I feel like it's a really high pressure environment, and there's always a lot of time constraints, like you say, but there's a lot of money riding on things as well, despite anything. Like, it's all very well saying,
Even
oh,
if
I'll
it
get
is
a group
passion
of
project like this.
yeah, I'll get like a bunch of my mates together and we'll make an awesome film. Like, that's fine, but at
But
the
everyone
point where
still has to make a living.
yeah, and there's a very real chance when you make a sort of feature film like this that
It might not recoup expenses. Or,
yeah, and then that puts your entire life line in jeopardy. So
yeah. Well, I'm wondering if
there's a lot of pressure.
I'm wondering if that informed the fact that he sort of did it ad hoc over like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe also whilst it might be nice to sort of imagine Adam Green in like his throne room at like the film studios being like, yes, we're going to make a film today. I feel like there's obviously quite a lot of conversation that has to go on with other people to make decisions as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe it was kind of like, if you want to do that, that's great, but that's on your time. That's not on our
I think
schedule.
perhaps he has a lot more freedom because it's his own production company.
Yeah, does he co-own it? Or
I think so, yeah. There are other people involved.
yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's sort of grassroots filmmaking, but not like in the trauma way. Like it's a step above trauma grassroots. Do you know what I mean?
trauma with money.
Trauma with class.
Yeah, trauma's like willfully
crass.
belligerent and crass,
Yeah.
Whereas these kind of films,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
it's just
That's what they're going
it's
for.
almost
It's
non-comparable
the choice.
because they're so completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Adam Green. I cannot call him by anything than his absolute full name, Mr. Green. I feel like he, like you say, has class with what he does, and he doesn't falter on the film work, like the actual filming of it. It's always quite cleverly done, and it's always high grade. Like, it's never filmed on a potato.
One thing I will say, actually, something that occurred to me while watching this for the third or fourth time, is that obviously, so I'll talk about this in a second, but from the get-go, you are never really under the impression that it's a real documentary.
No.
And that is intentional, which we'll get to.
Okay.
But I think because it's so well filmed and well lit and actually looks pretty cinematic at points.
Yeah.
That sort of...
Like the car pulling into the graveyard. It's very cinematic.
But even the talking heads, they look so cinematic.
Yeah.
That it doesn't look like a documentary. Or it doesn't look like I would expect a documentary to look.
It looks more diffused and sort of...
higher quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's
no,
not
a
derogatory comment about documentaries, but they have a certain look and feel, don't they? And...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's to be expected, though, because obviously this is a directed movie. It's not spur of the moment reacting to what's happening. There's a constant choice that's being made each time the camera's turned on.
I wonder if it's maybe a little bit of a throwback to kind of mid-90s or late 90s documentaries, and specifically documentaries about like conspiracy theories and aliens and stuff like that, because they did have like talking heads interviews with very dramatic lighting and like makeup done, and like it looked more theatrical, and that was intentional to kind of give more drama and gravitas to what they were talking about. But also it was just a sign of that time.
But you don't think that's because they were fake?
I mean, well, no, they actually filmed it. I mean, they were actually talking about the thing.
The aliens weren't. I'm just...
Sarah, they're going to come get us.
If I see it, I'll believe it, is all I'm going to say. You know I'm a skeptic.
You are.
I really want to believe all this stuff is true, but I'm also very grounded in science. If I see it, I'll believe it. This is why I don't like religion.
But what if they're just hiding behind things?
Like monsters.
Wait, what? What if
aliens?
we're talking specifically aliens now.
Anything that you don't believe in.
Jesus.
Just hiding behind
hiding behind stuff like a cat.
like Donald Sutherland in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Just with one hand, like just poking out, batting around for a pen or something.
I feel like if that were the case, somebody would have gone, "Hey, Jesus is over there." I
You
saw him poke his head out
bastard.
behind the couch.
Jesus, do you want some biscuits?
Ray Wise will be writing to directors saying, "I found Jesus. He's hiding in my backyard," and they'll be going, "No, you're crazy. He's crazy."
Contact Adam Green.
Yeah.
And Adam Green said, "I really want to believe that Jesus is hiding behind your blinds,
but I need to see it first." See, kindred spirits.
Yeah, you should be like best mates. And you've stood next to him once before as well.
That's such a fucking tenuous claim to make, isn't it? I was in the vague vicinity.
Well, I went to the same film premiere as Krishnan Guru Murthy.
Oh.
So there you go.
Was that Dead Set?
That was Dead Set,
okay.
Yeah.
See, the whole Charlie Brooker thing is way more impressive than Krishnan Guru Murthy.
Oh yeah, I met Charlie Brooker.
And we're in Dead Set.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was in Dead Set.
That's a better story than I stood near someone that time.
So this one time, I stood next to a man.
I think actually
That's my story.
At that same FrightFest, I also said hello to Bobcat Goldthwait.
That's not a name.
Bobcat
I
Goldthwait.
haven't heard of it.
That's
He
like
was in Police Academy. He was shit.
He was what?
Oh God, what was his name? He was the
Bobcat
crazy
Goldthwait.
guy.
He's in
from
Scrooged.
Police Academy 2 onwards.
He's in Scrooge. He's the...
Isn't that Bill Murray?
Yeah. No, Bobcat
That's
Goldthwait is
who
not
we
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray Goldcat.
You would 100% know who Bobcat Goldthwait is. And also, he's a director now. He did God Bless America and
Willow
World's
Creek.
Greatest Dad and Willow Creek, which is what we went to see at FrightFest.
Oh, okay.
Because it was so popular. It was on in the Discovery screen. It wasn't even in the main part of the festival. But because the first showing of Willow Creek sold out, they did a second one and we got in on the second
neat.
one. And he introduced it and talked about.
Oh,
it was
that's
so
awesome.
fun.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
He's a cool guy.
It just reminds me of Gatport Airwick.
I've never heard of that room deodorizer.
Gatport Airwick. smells like planes. So
anyway,
yes. So can somebody give me a sort of brief rundown of events?
I mean,
I know that a lot of people have seen this film, so perhaps we don't need to go into like a full synopsis of it.
I mean, a quick rundown of events is a guy called William Decker who claims to have been an ex-private detective, played by Ray Wise, contacts Adam Green, playing himself. They decide to go and visit him. This guy claims to have found an underworld of monsters that exist.
A metropolis.
A metropolis,
A monstropolis.
That's not what he says.
If you want to go there.
If that's how you want to live your life.
He claims to have discovered this entire underground world of monsters. Well, he says monsters, but then he talks about them having been born human, but malformed is a word he uses.
And you get lots of juxtaposition of
Real life kind of
deformed
human
babies.
Yeah, which I
malformations.
thought was a weird directorial choice, I must say.
I mean,
Why?
It just...
I think it works.
Is it because it unsettled you? Or...
Do you think it was exploitative?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Maybe it actually reminds me. It reminded me too much of the opening of the Hills Have Eyes remake, because they do the same thing in that. And obviously that's meant in full seriousness. You're meant to be horrified by these things and what they grew up to, and whereas it's a bit of a different. Since this is kind of more of a comedy.
Yeah.
Which one do you think is more exploitative?
Do you think it's more exploitative for the purposes of something that's more comedic?
Oh, I haven't given it that much thought.
It depends where the pictures were found and kind of displayed. I think that counts as well. Also, quick factoid: the girl that plays Ruby in the Hills Have Eyes remake is in Holliston.
Oh, really?
Hey!
Yeah.
And they all get tied together.
You did little punches while you were talking.
I did it.
I wonder if it's not potentially more exploitative to have a film that in all seriousness says people who are
These
born
are horrific
deformed
people, yeah.
then turn into horrific murderous
there's
monsters.
no
Whereas,
I mean,
I guess Digging Up the Marrow tries to humanise them more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're actually like, they have the potential to be murderers, but actually they're just shy people who want to be left alone.
I'm
Same.
so relatable.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Same, babe.
Where the fuck
Same.
is the marrow? How do I get there?
Do you did you get the feeling that like the Marrow was paying some kind of homage to Midian?
so
Can we talk about this? Right.
Yeah.
The elephant in the room.
What?
So, William Decker.
Yep.
Dr. Decker.
Decker.
The underground labyrinthine world of monsters
Yeah.
who you are supposed to kind of side with. All of the interviews in the first couple of minutes of the whole film are about humanizing monsters. This is why we like horror films. This is why we like monsters. This is why we align with monsters. Why we are sympathetic towards them.
Yeah.
Why we root for them. Why we like to see them. Like, that is just describing Nightbreed. You're just describing Nightbreed. However, when Adam Green was doing the festival circuit with Digging Up the Marrow, he was asked about this constantly.
Which must have got
and
very tiring.
Claims that it was a coincidence. Parallel thinking is a thing. But that seems like a stretch. Decker.
Well, Decker, that is a real coincidence.
Yeah.
Of all names.
However, I believe it was Alex Pardee that came up with the name.
Okay.
Because actually Digging Up the Marrow was his thing.
Yes.
So how is Decker a coincidence for for Adam Green, but not? Wait, what?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I've got to
I am
admit,
relaying secondhand information.
I'm kind of calling bullshit on that.
As did I.
I feel like 1 point might be quite coincidental, 2 points very much so, but like,
all right,
so much of this film has parallels.
Perhaps it was Alex Putty that came up. I believe it was him that came up with the title, Digging Up the Marrow, and
that makes sense.
They were all his kind of illustrations, and the source material was his. And apparently, an incident happened with Adam Green where I believe in 2010, a fan wrote to him claiming that Victor Crowley from Hatchet was real, and that he could prove it. So he got together with Alex Putty. I don't know how that happened, but they amalgamated ideas.
Yeah.
And that's how this project was created.
I mean, fine, but...
So perhaps it was Alex Putty that came up with Digging Up the Marrow and the name Dr. Decker, and Adam Green was being honest when he gave his answer that it hadn't occurred to him.
Do you feel like there was some kind of like subconscious at play where he heard the name Decker and his brain fired off a little neuron and made a link, and he went, "Oh, I've got a really good idea. What if there was like this underground metropolis?"
No, I felt
totally subconsciously, like linking it to Nightbreed, but not actually consciously making the link between the two.
I think the likeliest scenario is that Alex Putty took some inspiration from Nightbreed. The ideas became amalgamated, became Digging Up the Marrow, and then when Adam Green was doing the festival circuit and doing the Q&As, he was being honest when he said the similarities hadn't occurred to him because they'd occurred to Alex.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think that's the likeliest scenario.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
It had to have occurred to somebody during the making.
I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
It is ridiculous.
I feel like perhaps I'm not in the best position to be talking about this because I'm a huge Nightbreed fan, so of course it would occur to me.
Well, the fact that it's occurred to me, and I realistically haven't seen Nightbreed that many times.
Made you watch it, would it have?
Well, if I hadn't have seen the film, then no.
But would you have seen it if I hadn't encouraged you to?
What, Nightbreed?
Yeah, because it's not that easy to
At some
access.
point, yeah. Actually, I reckon that I would have viewed it since the Arrow release.
Yeah.
I reckon at this
maybe.
point I definitely would have watched it.
Okay.
But I watched it earlier because you loved
staring
it
at
so
a
much.
giant Nightbreed poster on the wall.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah, no, I'm good with that, but I refuse to believe that nobody during the entire production of this film spanning 5 years went, "Oh, it's nothing like anything else I've seen."
I mean, it's not.
It's not. It's filmed in a very different way.
It's a very different beast, but the commonalities are undeniable.
You could just the way that you describe it is like it could be either film.
It's like somebody made a mockumentary about Nightbreed.
Yeah. Somebody made a mockumentary about the making of Nightbreed, except it was real.
Decker is much nicer in this version.
Yes.
But he does wear a hat to the graveyard.
But it's not. He's not Cronenberg. Okay, who's creepier, Ray Wise or David Cronenberg?
David Cronenberg.
You reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think Ray Wise is like a lovely...
in real life.
Both.
Yeah.
I think that Ray Wise is a lovely starry-eyed grandfather figure.
Oh, no, I think he's batshit. I think he's
Yes. Have you met my family?
mad. True, okay.
He is a starry-eyed grandfather figure.
Okay.
I think...
To the Baker clan.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Ray
I can see
fucking
that.
Loopy Wise, yeah.
He's brilliant, and he's such
such a great
character
actor.
actor, and he's done so much genre, TV and film at this point. He's like a legend.
I always rate an actor if
But David Cronenberg's Canadian, so he must be polite.
That's exactly how it works.
I've definitely met some Canadian dickheads.
Just stay quiet. I plead the fifth.
Wait, what? We're in England.
53% of our listeners are in America, Rosie.
Ah, shit. What was I going to say before? You told me
You were
about
talking about
the
Ray
Canadian man.
Wise and how much of a twinkly-eyed granddad he
No,
is.
the way that I rate a decent actor is if they can get very angry, believably, or very sad, believably.
A lot of people think acting angry is just getting louder.
No.
It's far more nuanced.
No, it's
than
like it's all the shuddering and the confusion and the it is like raised voices, although sometimes it doesn't have to be.
No.
And it's
the scariest people
are the
people that get
quietest.
angry and don't
And then
raise
go
their
very
voices.
calm.
I hate that. That's terrifying.
Hey.
Oh no.
I just never get angry though, so it's fine.
Okay.
But yes, he especially in the scene where he's like telling Adam and
Will Barrett, yes.
Will, yes, to leave and like come back at sunrise, and he's like clearly so beside himself,
Panicked.
yeah, panicked, angry, like a whole myriad of different emotions, and you can sense all of those emotions and you can pick them all out from his acting. So not only is it being able to be like angry, but it's being able to layer all of
Multiple
those
at
emotions.
once. Yeah,
And
that's true.
and I really rate that. Like I think he's an excellent character actor. Yeah,
Yeah, agreed.
all about that guy.
So what I was going to touch on earlier, actually, this is a nice point to roll that in. The first time I watched this, I knew it wasn't a real documentary. I knew that going in. I'm familiar with Adam Green's work. I started watching it, and then the minute you see Ray Wise, a little part of me was just like, well, now I know, like, really know it's not a documentary, because I
Like-
know that guy. I've seen him in a butt ton of stuff.
Did it kind of like ruin any suspension of disbelief that you had?
I don't know, because I knew it was fake going in, but I just had that moment of like, oh, maybe it would have been better if they'd cast an
Well,
unknown.
it's really weird because so the logic behind the choice, it was obviously, as you said, a conscious choice, but it was because they'd seen like reviews of films like the Poughkeepsie tapes where people had seen it and then gone.
They've been
"Oh, it's
under the
fake."
impression it was real,
Which
at
is
the
weird
time.
because like you go to the cinema, and I appreciate that Poughkeepsie tapes is a bit of a different one because I know it's a bit difficult to get a hold of, certainly from our perspective at least.
Yeah,
It's not real.
Yeah, right? Who knew?
Spoilers. I haven't seen it.
You, like
more like
it's
the Poughkeepsie
it's a
fakes.
nice, nice.
The fakesy tapes.
Yes.
Well, but like you watch a film, like what do you expect? Like the whole mockumentary genre is so saturated in
I
the
feel
conscious
like-
and found footage as well. Like
Well, and they bring that up. Don't they?
1999.
I can
Blair Witch was released.
understand. I can understand why people bought into the Blair Witch hype, because the internet was not what it is
Oh
now.
no, of course, and
But it
that-
doesn't work now.
But that was like the start of
Yeah.
it. You know, that I mean, not like the actual start. I appreciate
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind of
no.
Holocaust and all sorts.
But I just like I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Yeah.
Like I completely understand why that was a thing then, and people might have gone into that movie going, "Oh my god, are these people okay?"
But it's
you can't
it's
do that
weird
now.
to think that people can watch a mockumentary, feature length mockumentary, and in perhaps even in a cinema. Like I'd understand if it was some backwards part of the internet, but to watch a feature length film mockumentary and think it's real.
Yeah. I've never seen
really
the
odd.
Poughkeepsie tapes.
Me neither. Well, it's
I've
hard to get
heard
hold
it.
of.
Yeah, I've kind of.
Because it's real.
I've seen.
That's what they want you to think.
I've
It's
seen
actually
one
snuff.
scene. Yeah,
No. What?
I've seen one scene, and it's
Okay.
the guy like spider walking or something with like
Does
a
it
mask
look
on.
creepy?
It looked pretty creepy.
Because I've heard,
Oh no.
but I've heard two completely like flip side arguments. I've heard some people say it's like one of the best examples of found footage filmmaking, and then another half of people going, "Oh my god, it's so fake! I was so annoyed."
Oh, I think it would shit me up.
Which is why I kind of want to see it.
I'm not good with the spider walking.
I might be misremembering it.
How do you misremember a spider walk?
It's quite. It's
Who
been
knows?
quite a
Maybe it was
while.
The Exorcist.
Maybe. But I seem to remember someone walking creepily, like almost backwards, and with a mask.
Almost backwards.
Like, or something similar.
See, that sounds like extra.
A man walking almost backwards with a
You
mask
guys
on his head.
talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna look it up now.
So, yeah. But like as Phil said, the intention was never for it to feel real. I think Adam Green was so scared of the blowback. If people go into it thinking it's real and then come away outraged or disappointed,
they feel like they've been somehow like
misled.
Yeah,
it just strikes me so weird. It's because it's such a genre movie.
But I can understand completely his feeling behind that decision.
Like if he's going to make it fake, make it extra fake by having Ray Wise in it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he never wanted to mislead people into thinking it was a genuine documentary because he was scared of the potential criticism that would arise from that. So he wanted to cast somebody so recognisable that the validity of it would never be in doubt.
I also feel like the actual monsters are... I mean, they're brilliant for a start.
The creature design is fantastic.
Absolutely incredible.
Like, I want the sort of brain that dreams that up from nothing. Can you imagine?
Like, the creature design's brilliant. The actual sort of body horror sort of CGI, however it is done,
CGI, apparently.
I hoped that a lot of it was, like, created.
The only bit of CGI I can discern is perhaps the tiny one that runs past them right at the end. Which
I'm not even
give it a hug?
It's like a little angry potato.
It looked to me, and it was only after I'd read the part about them saying almost no CGI, almost entirely practical effects, that I was kind of looking for it.
Yeah.
It was only at that point that I thought maybe that was a combination of practical and CGI.
See, I feel like there are little bits that are maybe... Or like overlay. So the blue monster, where all you can see is like the face on its belly and then it rears up.
Oh, and the face didn't... Yeah,
the face looks like it's had an overlay of CGI. But the rest of it, I think, was actually created. Which I really appreciate. Because I think what they've done is they've used both mediums, but they've used them both very cleverly, so they work together. Rather than you going,
oh, that's fake.
Oh, that CGI was awful. Because actually you had to really look for the bits that were CGI in order to be able to pick them out.
Not to undersell what they've done here either, but I think perhaps you have an easier job of making CGI look a bit more seamless when it's not something that's recognisable.
Yeah.
Because the creatures were so kind of alien anyway, so they had a bit more freedom with it.
I disagree.
Okay, as an animator perspective.
Well, so part of making a believable monster in any way, and you know, this is certainly one train of thought anyway, is grounding it. Like, because people are really good at recognising, even if they can't place...
like Uncanny Valley stuff.
Yeah, they're good at recognising that something's wrong, and if you push that too far, you kind of enter this territory where it's like...
obviously fake.
Yeah. Whereas grounding it in reality, making sure, for example...
It has an eyeball.
Bone structures or recognisable things, that's where it starts being creepy, because...
sort of glitches your brain out.
That makes sense.
I mean, just like that's certainly one train of thought. Anyway, it's not like.
So you think that's the best use of CGI then, when it's sort of overlaid very minimally over something that's practical?
yeah, and you know, it's you know, they need to complement each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say one is better than the other.
Yeah.
Because it's just the way it's used, and because actually, you know, unless you've got a really good special effects department, practical effects can look really a bit janky as well.
Oh yeah,
like they both have these kind of territories where they're a bit weird if they're not utilised correctly.
Yeah, I think something like The Void is a really good example of how, like a modern film that utilises practical effects perfectly, but my God, can it go the other way?
Yeah,
very easily.
It's I think. I was going to say I think budget comes into it a lot, and actually now that I've said that, I'm not entirely sure I agree with myself.
Do you know what?
Because I've seen some really low budget films that have incredible practical effects.
Some studios use CGI because it's the cheaper option.
Yeah,
and you know, and these days you can just like with sufficient time on a laptop do effects. Like I was watching an interview with the director of
a film,
Lights Out, I think. Who he's actually got a kind of a visual effects background as well, and so there's him with like Blender, which is like a free open source 3D modelling. There's him like rocking away with making actual cinematic visual effects just from his laptop.
Yeah.
You know, and
That blows my mind.
and is it Gareth Edwards who did Monsters?
I always get confused between Gareth Edwards and Gareth Evans.
Yeah. But
yeah. Wait, which one was on Big Brother?
Wait, what?
but didn't he do a lot of the VFX for Monsters?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And again, that was just kind of him.
Yeah.
You know,
and it looked kind of really cinematic and impressive.
Yeah. And it's
so I think it's
but he did it like it wasn't like a
Yeah.
big Hollywood thing. It was him on his own doing it.
I think
Or, you
perhaps
know,
I think perhaps
In comparison, at
the
least.
problem comes in when you outsource it and do it cheaply.
Do it cheaply, and you're working with people who don't really have a definite idea of your vision either.
Yeah, it's a very like if you've got a really specific idea, that's almost impossible to communicate. 100%.
There are a whole
Which is kind of why I felt like the practical and sort of FX worked in this film, because whoever they were working with, they clearly all had a really clear idea.
Yeah, there was good communication.
They had like a reference picture to work from, I imagine, from Pardee. So
what I think is perhaps the best compliment I can give the effect is that this is, like I say, the third or fourth time I've seen this, and it's the first time I've even thought about CGI, and that is because I read it in the trivia.
yeah,
It's done so minimally, and it's filmed in such a way where they're never fully lit, they're never lingered on too long, it never becomes an issue.
Yeah, like you look at Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
When was that? 1990.
don't.
I want to say 1994.
I was thinking 4.
93, 94.
But like
Yeah, it
that
was about 7.
T-Rex is
How dare you?
all but photo real,
Yeah.
and this is like what X amount of years old.
Thank you.
And you know they clearly had the capability of doing that with the computers they had at the time,
Yeah.
which is PlayStation 1 era.
Don't.
But it's
Oh my God.
yeah, right.
It's like you give with one hand and then you punch us in the stomach with the other.
Sorry, but the reason they were so effective was because they knew they had limitations. They worked
And
to
they worked
limitations.
within
So
them, yeah.
the big sort of T-Rex shot was lit in such a way that kind of obscured a lot of the detail. It was kind of lit from it had a lot of like real sort of highlights. It was lit in the rain, so that kind of explained away the shiny kind of effects. It was hidden away.
See,
all
that's
sorts.
clever. That's you've got to be smart.
A really
about it.
smart usage of the limitations, like you say.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. So not to get all depressing.
Oh no!
But I think we need to address the fact that this obviously seems like a really personal project for Adam Green.
Yes.
On every level.
Yeah.
None more so than the fact that obviously Dave Brockie from Gore,
Yeah.
that was the last footage of him ever.
Oh God!
Before
Was
he
it?
died. Was him saying, "And when I die, I'll be a dead monster."
Oh fuck!
And apparently Adam Green had a real internal struggle about whether or not to even include that
put
in the
it
film.
in.
But because it was the last footage ever shot of him, they felt they had to.
I think it's like a really fitting homage to him.
I think it's the best tribute. That kind of line that he comes out with was, I'm a monster and I'll continue to be a monster. I think that's so fucking iconic. Not to cheapen it, but icon.
And he's so emphatic about what he's saying as well.
I love it.
Obviously, he's like putting on a. But is he putting on a persona? But yeah, like if there was anything that was probably closest to his own ideals, it was that, surely.
Yeah, I think
I am other. I'm always going to be other.
Yeah, I think it would have been the wrong choice
forever.
to cut that from the film. I think I understand why that would have been really fucking hard to watch over and over again in editing, and over again when the film plays at festivals. But I think that was the best decision.
A really fitting tribute, and I'm really glad that they put that in.
Because he was in Holliston, so I think they've become quite good friends.
I didn't realise that. I didn't realise he was in there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about Holliston.
It's really hard to get hold of over here. I watched the first couple episodes and I can't remember how or where, but I don't think it's on any streaming platform over here.
What is about?
It's a sitcom, but it's like a horror sitcom.
What?
So he's got people like Daniel Harris, like icons of the genre, kind of showing up and having guest spots, and
That sounds amazing.
but within the standard sitcom format. It's really bizarre.
Do you reckon he's at the point in his career now where he can just write a script for that show and go, yeah, I want this person in it.
Probably.
Get me Tony Todd.
Maybe, yeah.
I love it. I'm all about that.
That's all we can aspire to, right?
Like, right? Just
That's the
being in the
dream.
position where you can be like, I'm going to write a show and I want my favourite actor to be in it.
God.
And then they just go and get him.
That is the dream. Again, on a depressing note, but I think it bears mentioning, because Adam puts so much of his real life in this film. His wife appears on several occasions, and because it took so long to complete, by the time it was airing at festivals and he had to watch it over and over again, they divorced.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I think I read an interview with him around the time it was screening, sort of like 2014, 2015. And apparently that he found that incredibly difficult.
I am not surprised.
Because like
at all.
so much of his life kind of fell apart around the same time, and he had to keep watching it on a big screen with an audience.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like its premiere was at FrightFest, wasn't it?
Yeah, which I fucking love, because he's said sort of hands down it is his favourite film festival on the planet. And he credits that as being the festival that kind of launched Hatchet. And
Oh, of course, because was it Hatchet 4 that they showed at FrightFest?
yeah, well, I think they've all screened. Sorry, I broke for a second.
Glitch. Are you alright?
No, never. Seldom. Hatchet 1 and 2 for sure screened at FrightFest. I don't even think FrightFest was the premiere for Hatchet. I think it had screened somewhere before that, but because it tested so well with that FrightFest audience, they embraced it so much. He was just like, spiritual home, this is it. And obviously we've talked about it a bit before on the show, but him and his friend Joe Lynch did like the Road to Frightfest short. So,
I love
like,
that short.
It was so funny. And actually I haven't listened to their podcast in forever, because Adam Green and Joe Lynch do the Movie Crypt.
Maybe we could swap items.
I presume it's still going. Really, really good. So, like, I tend to only tune in when I am familiar with the guest.
Yeah.
But some of the interviews, the Henry Rollins one, it's years old now, but so worth
Oh no, I
watching.
would totally check that out.
Because Henry Rollins was in Wrong Turn 2, which Joe Lynch directed.
Was he?
Yes. He was the best part about it.
Yes, of course. He was the best part of Wrong Turn 1 and he wasn't even in it.
He was pretty good in Feast as well.
I haven't seen Feast.
Actually, he was in a film called He Never Died as well.
As the main character.
Yeah. And he's
As
pretty
the
good
guy
in
who
that.
never died?
Yeah.
Yeah. The titular he.
Tip.
Alright, Chad. But yeah,
Cheers.
I think it's kind of a bummer, but it's worth mentioning. And it also sort of gives me more respect for Adam Green that he was able to
That he
endure
just-
that, because
yeah.
it's a project that he poured so much of himself into.
Push through and kind of... I feel like when you have moments in your life that are really either formative or destructive, and you don't really have much control over anything else, you have to hold control fast to the things that you are able to.
Yeah,
And
I would agree that.
that's how you keep grounded to reality. It's how you keep grounded to your own sanity.
Yeah.
So I think that this labour of love that he worked on for so long was, you know, maybe one of those things that he clung to and endured because it was his baby and he had control over it.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I'm glad he did.
I'm proud of you, Adam.
Aw,
I'm really proud.
because he's definitely listening. He's not.
He's definitely listening 54 minutes in.
He's not off doing very important film things.
Ah,
Not listening
whatever.
to us chumps.
Speak for yourself,
I do, always.
chump.
Single chump and 2 other people.
Did you pick up any more interesting trivia about the film?
I don't know about trivia. I made a couple notes.
Oh, yeah.
One of which kind of ties to our mini-sode last week. And if you would like to hear that, we highly recommend signing up to our $5 tier on Patreon. Which gets you access to, at this point, 23 bits of extra content, which we have improved upon and made longer, so now you get even better content. What are you waiting for?
One of them is a video of me and Sarah dancing.
You say that like it's a bad thing. I think that sells it even further, personally.
It's a pretty bad dance.
It's very bad dancing. We are very white. One of the notes I made, actually, was we mentioned Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark last week, because Phil watched it. Some of Alex Pardy's illustrations kind of made me think of the creature illustrations from that. Like, the similar sort of imagination, like
Vance.
Yeah, kind of.
Like the Scarecrow.
Of Vance Refrigeration.
Yes.
What?
The Office.
I'm so sorry.
I've got the theme tune playing in my head as soon as you do. Oh no.
What is with you guys tonight? Just singing theme tunes willy-nilly.
This film...
So...
Trying to think about this film, melting my brain a bit.
Oh, really?
How so?
Like... It's like life imitating art, and it's just so intermeshed. You've got like
it's very meta.
It's a fake documentary in which the creator of the creatures is pretending to be himself, not having created the creatures, talking about the creatures he created. It's so weird. It's so weird to think about. I can't, but it's great.
And then there's Ray Wise.
And then there's Ray Wise,
who is a very wise Ray.
The wisest of Rays.
Oh, I don't know. I think our friend Ray might be quite angry about that. He's not very wise, is
He's
he?
not.
No. Nah. What else you got?
I have a little bit of trivia. The entrance/tunnel for the Marrow was apparently built and filmed at the Ariescope studio.
Oh, what, the with all of the branch roots sticking down and the cage. And I never thought that I would ever see Ray Wise naked.
Really? I expected to. Years ago.
Every film Sarah watches with Ray Wise in is like, it's going to happen anytime soon.
One day.
It's going to happen.
Fingers crossed I'll get there one day.
One day. Gonna get myself some sweet, sweet Ray Wise.
Sidebar action.
Sidebar.
Never thought I'd say that.
I've got. I wasn't mad.
Yeah. The only other bit I think that's worth mentioning is apparently they filmed a lot of it without permits, so a lot of it was illegally.
Was it naughty?
Footage, yes.
I mean, how does that work in terms of then showing said illegal naughtiness?
I guess the people in charge of the locations have to one, see it, and B, proceed with legal action. Would you? I think I'd just be like, fuck it.
They've done it now.
It's a good film. It exists already. Our time is better spent.
Yeah, but there are always arseholes in the world, aren't there? So.
Disney. Oh no, I said it
the third time.
They are very litigious.
You just coughed on me.
Did I?
I'm gonna have
to
to
cough.
Wait, what? She literally just coughed, didn't she?
I wasn't paying attention.
It was a fake cough.
Well, you have just given me fake coronavirus.
I just went, Disney.
And I'm going to have to fake disinfect myself.
I have not been anywhere near China. So.
I'm really trying to be a very sensible person and not panic about any of this. I'm doing my absolute level best.
We're all fine.
I know, but
the media has taken it and run with it.
Are we fine though?
The media loves a fake story.
Wash your hands, carry antibac, but don't spend too much time worrying about it.
I'm doing all those things. Okay. I mean, to be honest, we've probably had it already when we were ill 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spread it unnowingly.
Sorry.
Yeah, and you guys were blaming me.
Well, we didn't. We
had to have got it from somewhere.
So, The ending. Let's talk about the ending.
The ending.
What were you expecting? Is this what you were expecting? Do you think it was...
What? Ray Wise sidebar? No, I'm being serious. Was that what I was expecting? Ray Wise to turn up naked in a cage?
No one expected it. We all just hoped. We've covered this. Because it's the sort of film where I couldn't necessarily second guess what the climax was going to be.
I was a little bit confused by the very ending.
Okay.
Which doesn't say a lot for me. But, okay, so the very, very ending,
mm-hmm.
where monster of
footage from
undisclosed origin. Yeah, the footage from the camera. They put the camera down on the bedside table,
mm-hmm.
and then the very last shot is this monster, like, I don't know, letting off a klaxon, screaming. Mm-hmm. I'm not, like, spitting in his face. I don't know.
Making a monster noise.
Making a monster noise, and then Adam Green's like, oh shit, what the fuck? But that's footage that he's then viewing afterwards.
Yeah.
So what, does the monster just go, whoa, and then run away?
That's my understanding of it, yeah.
Because he makes a noise like, I'm gonna kill you.
Jolts him awake, leaves the camera, legs it. And then that's why Adam Green... But then the bit that prefaces that, when he's sort of talking to camera, and he looks like he hasn't slept in a fucking month.
Yeah.
And he's clearly, like, shaken.
But he would have been anyway if he'd just seen the camera footage.
Of course.
So why did the monster need to be like, woobaga?
They didn't. I think that was just the desire to have one last kind of scare.
Okay, yeah, I
One
can buy
last
that.
jump scare to end it on. Because otherwise it would have been a bit anticlimactic.
It wouldn't have looked very good if Adam Green went, oh, I got the film footage back and looked really sad, and then just went, here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, I get that. It didn't sit quite right, do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but I think it had to...
It was an artistic necessity.
The direction they went in, I think that had to happen for it to be climactic enough to be an ending.
Yeah. How did you feel about Naked Ray Wise?
I mean, it was sidebar. I have no strong feelings whatsoever towards
How
Ray
can
Wise
you
sidebar.
not have strong feelings about Ray Wise?
We've waited all these years, Phil.
Every time we see RoboCop, Twin Peaks, X-Men First Class.
Never a sideboard, never even a glimpse.
Never a whisper of
I thought
sidebar.
you were going to ask me what I thought of the ending.
And then the sideboard is delivered on a silver platter and you are underwhelmed.
In a caged platter. With him going, monsters aren't real, but my side butt is.
But while you're here...
Whilst I've got you, check out my butthole. Are you not entertained?
Weird way to take the podcast.
Okay, what did you think of the film then?
What do you think of the ending? How did the ending go?
So I was going to say it kind of didn't sit right with me either, and not just because of the ending, but that whole the whole thing is built around.
Quick question.
Yes.
Obviously, this is not the first time you've seen this. No. It might not be possible at this point because it's been a few years, but cast your mind back. Yep, that is the sound.
My mind has been cast.
Do you feel differently now on rewatching, or do you think you felt the same way on first watch?
I think this is a film that I
think this is a film.
This is a film that I enjoy if I kind of don't think about it too much.
So if you if you use it as like chewing gum for the brain kind of thing.
Well, like the whole film posits that monsters aren't that bad, they're really nice, and then the actual interaction, the only real interaction you get is the monsters being horrendous. I mean, that's a choice, that's clearly a choice, but like it felt weird considering the whole thing they've been setting up. They're just misunderstood.
I disagree. I think
they were threatened. They weren't horrendous.
No, but then the monster came into.
If somebody came into my house and started flashing lights at me while I was just trying to go about
my
business,
They took the fight to his home turf. They didn't just scare him away.
True.
And above all, Ray Wise's character Decker is all about this. No, they are misunderstood. They must be protected.
But
here, look at them, look at these people.
But at the same time, his knowledge of them is limited to him having seen them from afar and potentially his son being one of them. If his son is good, it's like they said, in any culture there are good people and bad people. Some of them are bad
seeds.
Yeah.
And realistically,
everyone is like.
Well, realistically, he says that there's like a full community of people living in this metropolis. Yeah. We only ever see like 4 or 5 of them.
It would be weird if we saw like, a handful of them just being like.
Also, I'm gonna go with the idea that a genre like horror film should maybe have some horror in it rather than just guys going, "Oh, I'm really nervous."
I'm sure there are other ways they could have ended it other than that.
Can you turn the light off, please?
I'm very bashful.
Bashful?
I'm shy.
Oh no, I'm shy. No, don't look at me. I'm shy.
I see the criticism, but I think Rosie's right. It's a genre piece. There had to be some scares there, and that was the best way to do it. And everybody's understanding of monsters is that they are a bit bad.
I also kind of feel like you're right as well. If somebody like wandered into my house, set up cameras and like shot flashlights in my face, like 8 serpent heads would rear out of my back, and I would crush their car.
Yeah, same.
No, that scene I totally get.
That I understand,
but it's kind of everything after. It's the cage. It's when Decker's caged up, and they record a video of this underground lair with clearly something that's not necessarily human recording, in which Naked Ray Wise is saying monsters aren't real when the evidence is pointing otherwise.
Yeah, he's just hanging out in his cage.
But equally, we cannot attest to the monster's intelligence level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They will not have had formal education.
This is,
Monsters aren't real. I'm not trapped in a cage.
This isn't my side.
And on that absolute bombshell, what rating would you give for this film? Like a solid out of 10. I want a solid out of spooky 10.
Can I give a half?
Only a half?
7.5.
Ooh, that's high for you.
Yeah.
You like it.
I do like it. It's the 4th time I've seen it. You best believe I like it.
I feel like there must be.
I suggested covering it.
I've seen Drainiac like 4 times, and I'd give that a 3 at best.
Really?
Oh no, I fucking love it. 7.5. Why 7.5?
Because I have a real soft spot for Adam Green. I think it's a genuinely.
I really want to be mates with him.
I would like to be friends with Adam.
Should we just message him and be like, "Yo, Adam Green, can we be pals?" This is a really weird
appeal to be friends with Adam Green. No.
Oh no! Somebody's already tagged him in our Instagram post.
Me?
No.
Oh.
Multiple people then.
Well, it's fine. We've said lovely things.
Hi, Adam Green.
That's not creepy.
Do you remember when we said hi, Neil, and he like levitated at his house?
Whilst playing Overwatch. Genuinely, I think it's a really lovingly made film. I think it's very clear Adam Green and everybody else who was involved has kind of poured their heart and soul into it. It's a very personal project on several levels. I just think it's a really fucking fun watch. I think obviously it's not anything close to a real documentary, and it wasn't intended to be, but I think that format lends it something really unique. What were we talking about earlier?
For context, Sarah tried to casually lean on the desk.
You know when you do that really cool thing when you're talking to girls, where you put your elbow on the side of the desk and then like your elbow slides off it and you look like a complete moron? Yeah. Well, that just happened.
But at least you didn't tell the world.
They know now.
You've just ruined my reputation as a cool cat.
You are such a cool cat. No, you're cooler than I am. What does that say about me?
Not a lot, babe.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I like this film enough to have watched it 4 times. I own it. I'll watch it again. I just think it's a fun time.
It is a fun time. It is a fun time film. It is tough on monsters, tough on the causes of the monsters. What?
It's not going to assist the monster cause anytime soon.
Nah. Fully endorse Ray Wise side butt, obviously. I'm all about that.
We've not talked about that enough.
No. Genuinely, it was... I feel like I almost enjoyed it more because I knew it was a really fake documentary.
Yeah, for sure. It makes
Like,
it more fun.
I could get kind of... not... This is going to sound weird. I could not get so immersed in it.
Yeah.
I could just take it at face value for what it was and enjoy it.
Yeah. Equally, one thing I will say is that like 50% of the people that were in front of the camera at any one time are not actors.
No, was a lot of it ad-libbed?
No. You've read the same review, right? Apparently, all of it was meticulously scripted and rehearsed, and a lot of reviews complimented the film on the ad-libbing.
Yeah.
So, like, Adam Green sort of took that as, like, a plus and a minus, but
Because
that's kind of like...
they're either all such good actors that they made it look like they were ad-libbing.
But it's kind of testament to the direction.
Or,
It really
or they
is.
were such bad actors that it
had to be
looked
rehearsed.
like they were ad-libbing.
I think it also sets up really well as well because the actual interview segments, particularly at the start, you kind of cut away to Adam Green doing the whole, yes, I agree with you. Like, it's clearly fake, just these, like, nods and smiles he does.
I am a director.
Yeah, which...
But I kind of like
which
that because
emphasises
it's sort of,
the kind of...
But equally, it kind of helps to get the audience to side with him, because he's like, the friendly skeptic.
Yeah.
Which I think helps endear him to the viewer. And I mean, it's his film, so you have to like him.
I just think he's got a nice face.
Yeah.
I think he's got a very friendly face. So I would watch this film again.
What would you give it out of 10? And would you recommend it?
I would absolutely recommend it. Mm-hmm. I think it's super fun. I do know people who don't like it.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
On what basis?
I...
Their preferred Nightbreed.
Was the side bot a side bot too far?
I don't believe there is such a thing. But
For other
potentially, people who don't appreciate the side butt.
Or Robocop.
The 1-star review that I got from somebody I know is it's absolute trash. Which, I mean, that's harsh. Like, I thought that was rude.
Do I need to punch?
We will discuss this after the show. But no, I genuinely enjoyed it. I would totally recommend it to other people. Again, I know that I always say stuff like this, but I would really recommend it as like a group viewing.
Yes, 100%.
It is totally friends watching friends. And there's a weird underlying sense of camaraderie which goes on throughout this film.
Yeah.
That I think would be really well echoed by the people watching it if they were in like a friendship group. So yeah, friends, beers, pizza, Digging Up The Marrow.
Yeah.
Sounds like an awesome like Tuesday evening in.
Tuesday.
Tuesday specifically.
Okay.
Because Wednesday we podcast, Thursdays I have Dungeons and Dragons.
But we literally just watched it with friends and it's Wednesday.
There was no pizza.
I gave you
I think
wine.
get 2...
What do I need to do, Phil?
Give a beer.
Beer and pizza.
And Tuesdays, we need to get two for Tuesdays for most pizza outlets nearby.
What did you think of it?
Yeah, much the same as you guys. I really liked... it had a kind of, particularly with the creature designs, had like a real sense of whimsy to it.
Yes.
They're not entirely... We are spooky monsters. Like, there was a bit of silliness about them.
Kind of like a circus.
Yeah, and it kind of echoed through the way they were balancing that kind of like horror comedy thing. Some of it was like actual genuine jump scares, which I have question marks over, I think, just because it feels that whole jump scare with the first major
brain
one,
monster.
The brain monster.
Yeah.
Like that was clearly a jump cut edit, which created an artificiality. That
Did you think it was lazy or?
Kind of, because that was clearly a decision they made in the edit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a continuous shot that they turned the lights on and suddenly, unless it was invisible, it was clearly not there when the lights were off.
Yeah.
You could see past it.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the lights came on, jump cut right there.
Yeah.
And that was
kind of the point, because he was saying, "Oh my god, there it is," and they were like, "We cannot see anything. You can't see anything. We can't see anything."
But you saw
in
the
the
trees
trees
beyond the.
Yeah, but they're
the silhouette.
saying you can't see anything in the trees. And he was saying, "Oh my god, it's right in front of us." And they're like, "No, we cannot see anything." Like, it's not that they were blind, just they couldn't see a monster there until they turned the lights on, which is what we could see. We couldn't see anything there until they turned the lights on.
I understand what you're both saying. I am Switzerland.
But yeah, it's super fun. I've always enjoyed watching it. Like I said, seen it three times now. Always laughed at it.
Yeah.
Which I think is a sign of a good film,
I
because
always forget how funny it is, actually.
I think it's a grower. I think the beginning of it maybe isn't that funny, but it gets
Grower, not a
progressive. But it gets progressively
it.
more and more funny throughout the film.
Yeah. Agreed.
I loved the scene with Kane Hodder.
And
Oh,
he's
yeah,
such
fantastic.
a dude.
What an awesome guy. Maybe I want to be friends with Kane Hodder.
And also, good touch for background horror.
Yeah.
I love whenever horror does that. When you're focusing on the foreground and something's going on in the background that you don't necessarily notice, but when you see it happen, you're like, how did I miss that?
I will be honest with that scene where they are sitting in front of the PC monitor.
Yeah, that's where my focus.
Oh, really?
Was.
No, I was looking at that.
It is right in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
Like,
But
they
I
make
think
it so obvious.
Once you sort of know the tropes, you know what to look for, and it surprised me to hear that so many people have missed it the first time round.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. The first time I watched it, I was just like, wow, something's gonna happen.
Yeah. I thought, and they did little, false cinematic bits, like when Will is sitting in front of the door with the chain. Mm-hmm. And you can see the chain in full, you can see the door totally still, and then Will's face is outside, and I was like, something's going to happen with that door. That door's going to start rattling. Something's going to, the scene's ended.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you cheeky little man.
I kind of like that. I respect that, because
because it keeps people guessing, even if they do know the tropes and they do know
a lot of what I love about horror is what you don't see.
Yeah.
What you don't expect.
Inferred horror is good horror.
Yes.
On that note, I feel like it is time that we wrap this stuff up. We, as always, have had an excellent time discussing this film for you. If you have any comments for us, if you want to let us know what you thought, or if you just want to say hi, then you can find us on all our social media. But until then, we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Stay spooky.
Hello guys and welcome to sorry